car, not corporate.
Okay, well, I'm sure you got a recording device. Apparently, you've made perjurious statements to obtain a warrant against me, because I haven't met not one of the prerequisites for probable cause for stalking. Not one. Do you know what they are? I think I could recite them for you if you like.
Go ahead.
I don't think you know what they are.
Go ahead, educate.
The person has to have a reasonable fear for their life or safety, or that they're going to be harmed or sexually assaulted, or that their property is going to be stolen or destroyed, or that their family members might be harmed, kidnapped, or something like that. I think any of those, it has to be a reasonable fear that this is going to occur to them. There needs to be more than one event. There has to be an established pattern. There has to be no legitimate purpose to be wherever you are, where the stalking apparently occurs.
Okay.
Not one of those were met in probable cause. I don't know, I can't wait to read your perjurious affiant statement, but none of that was met.
Okay.
Not one thing. There's been no threats made. There's been nothing done. No intimidation, nothing of the sort. As a matter of fact, I'm the one that's been stalked by Sarah Filler. I'm the one that's been stalked. She has no legitimate purpose to come and circle my property. She has stolen and committed larceny against me over and over again. And I'm also inclined to believe that this is retaliation, and that the Saluda Sheriff's Department has colluded with the Aiken Sheriff's Department now, and that you are actually retaliating against me because I'm bringing civil lawsuits against the Saluda County Sheriff. And that's what I'm inclined to believe, Mr. Blackwelder.
I've never met you before until seeing you on Sunday. So.
Oh, okay. Was I stalking then? Was I? Is that when I did the stalking, sir?
I don't know.
Oh, was that stalking, sir? You gave me a no trespassing warning and accused me of trying to climb a gate without evidence. There is no evidence of that, and I can tell you why, because it didn't happen, sir.
Well, that's all the stuff for court.
Good. I'm glad it's all recorded.
I said for court.
My story's not going to change
For court.
ever, because I'm not lying. You're the one that lied, not me. And Sarah Filler, of course, lies all the time, and so does her mother.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Oh, well, but wait, that's what an appeal's for, right, sir? Well, let's just talk about an appeal. 00009 is under appeal. The appeal date was August 9th, 2023. No, I just want to share some facts with you.
Hold on. How can you have an appeal for something that hasn't even happened yet?
Oh, no. I'm going back in history, sir.
Oh, okay.
I'm going back in history because you guys are trying to charge me with stalking because you know I've been previously fraudulently charged with stalking. So that's what your whole modus operandi is here. You're whole complicit, and it's actually what you're doing is actually a conspiracy to kidnapping, which will come out in the end. They're both 30-year charges, by the way, 30-year felony. Kidnapping and conspiracy to kidnapping are both 30-year felonies. So let's talk about a restraining order. I hope this is all recorded. It'll save some people some time. 2023 OR 41101000009 was issued as a restraining order against me 7/31/23. On 8/9/23, we filed an appeal. This appeal was finally heard on August 14th, 2025, after the restraining order alleged violations had been adjudicated on February 18th, 2025. On page 3 of that restraining order signed by Judge Schultz on July 31st, 2023, it states, "This restraining order shall remain in effect until fully adjudicated in the event of any violation of the restraining order." February 18th, 2023, I entered a coerced plea of second-degree harassment, 30-day charge, $500 fine. A stalking charge, 10 years, actually aggravated stalking, 10 years was dismissed, but they included the second-degree harassment as a lesser but included charge. Now, the violation of the restraining order was absolutely dismissed, despite the fact that both of the affidavits were identical and perjurious, similar to the one you just filed. And yet, the exact same affidavit was used for both.
What's the word that you were using?
Perjurious. That means perjury.
Say it again.
Perjurious.
Perjurious.
Yeah. Yeah. So the fact that when people go into court and be an affiant officer and under oath make perjurious statements, that is a felony. Got news for you. Anyway, so I'm not trying to digress, but you might want to.
No,
I'm not going to.
Serious, like I'd never heard that word. I'm interested in like the English language.
Well, I thought it was perjurious, but it's apparently it's perjurious. There's an I before the O-U-S, apparently. Okay? Yeah, whatever. It doesn't really matter. If you said perjurious, I'm sure everybody would understand it. But it's actually perjurious. And, anyway, so back on track. August 14th, the judge issues an order to Judge Schultz, the one who issued the restraining order. And let's just talk about what those events were. Because to file a restraining order, and I haven't had a chance to read my new order of protection complaint that was just served to me. I didn't get a chance to read it before I was in handcuffs. And it's from Sarah Filler. So anyway, I'm not sure, but I can share with you the events that led to the issuance of the restraining order against me initially that I apparently violated by walking up and down my own road past my neighbor's house where I lived. Anyway.
What county is this?
Saluda,
Okay.
the one that you're conspiring with.
All right, so it has nothing to do with Aiken. Got it.
No, literally nothing. Nothing to do with it. No, but there is some history between me and Sarah Filler. We had a mutual restraining order which expired without incident. No one was arrested, although she did violate it on numerous occasions. Saluda County Sheriff Department refused to do anything about it, and I actually told them I don't want her arrested. I just want her to leave me alone. But regardless, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so August 14th, 2025, we go to finally hear the appeal for 20230R41101000009. So we get in there, and basically, the opposing attorney comes out with one of my motions that I got my attorney to file, and it was a motion to supplement the return of the appeal, which was completely deficient. And the Judge Schultz, who was recused from my cases and was recused when she issued the order, had destroyed the transcript from the hearing.
You been to college?
Yeah, I got a 4-year degree in English. Thank you. Anyway, so...
I hear it. So.
Oh, okay, good, yeah. I haven't done anything to anybody. But you know what?
I'm saying like you talk very well.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Well, I'm just letting you know that when I say that I'm going to fuck somebody up, it doesn't mean I'm going to hurt them physically. It means I'm going to use the law and my words, and I'm going to fuck somebody up. And that's what I'm about to do to everybody that's done all this shit to me. And I'm not going to, it's not a threat. It's not a physical threat. It's not any kind of violence. I've never done anything violent in my life. I have no record. Sarah Filler told me if you evict me, I'm going to ruin your life. No, hold on a second. So, I do now. Yeah, second degree harassment. I had to plead guilty to it. You're right. In order to get out of jail. If I hadn't pled guilty to it, I'd still be in jail. But that's another constitutional violation when you deny somebody bond for a non-violent offense. And then lie about it. That's a whole nother subject. But let's get back to this appeal. The interesting thing is when Judge McLeod sent his order down to Judge Schultz, he said, yeah, we want you to supplement the return of the appeal. And also, if you could, the appellant's attorney is asking for any evidence that you might have, because I was pro se at that case. I did represent myself. I still represent myself on that case. And actually, representing yourself sometimes is more effectual than having an attorney, because especially if an attorney is also working with Saluda County Sheriff's Department to become intentionally ineffectual.
Well, the judge also gives you a little bit of leeway, knowing that.
Which judge? Circuit judge?
Well, I'm saying because you don't really know the whole law and.
Oh no, she slammed it. She threw me under the bus. Like I was trying to tell you, the two incidents that they used to get this stalking injunction against me and a restraining order, they said I stole a bag of cookies from their house, which was disproved in the police report, and there was no real investigation because I didn't steal her cookies from the house. And then the other one was that I had contacted her after she told me not to, regardless of the fact that she's my landlord, okay, which would be a pretty weird thing to tell your tenant not to contact you, but she never did. I took all the evidence into the appeal. It's all in there for the evidence, the return of the appeal. All the evidence is mine because she didn't have any. Anyway, so the Judge McLeod just issued an order to Judge Schultz, like, yeah, I would like you to do a supplement to the return of the appeal. And I would also like you to provide any evidence, because the appellant's attorney is saying that there was no evidence. Could you actually provide the evidence that you used to issue a restraining order and a stalking injunction? And so we're still waiting for that answer. But here's a very interesting question for you, Officer Blackwelder. If, in fact...
Why are you saying it like that?
Because it's a great name, Blackwelder. It's powerful. Anyway, my name's Hugh Price. I'm about sick of my last name. Blackwelder. Okay, I got it. Anyway,
so I don't know if
I'm addressing you. I'm addressing you.
I don't know if you're saying it like that because that's the way I said it.
No, I'm not mimicking you. I'm not.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
It like that because
I won't say it anymore,
no,
officer.
I'm not offended. What I'm saying is, when I say I feel like I have to say it like that because if I say it the way I normally do, people think I say Blackwater.
It was very well enunciated.
Enunciate like
you very well enunciated your name, sir. Anyway, the question that nobody wants to talk about. So what happens when they vacate this initial restraining order? What's going to happen? They could do two things. They could vacate the initial restraining order and then ask for a new trial, which I would love, because I would love to see them prove that I stole some cookies and that I sent a message when I was told not to, because there is no evidence to any of that. I would love that. That would be fucking fantastic. I would love that trial. But what would even be better and more expedient is if they just said, we're vacating this order. Now, let me ask you a question. Now, what happens to all the charges that came out of that false order that was obtained by Officer Theodore McLaughlin with perjurious statements as an Affiant officer in conspiracy with Lieutenant John Silcox? It's all documented on their body camera footage. Not that McLaughlin ever used it, but his partner, Suzanne Shealy, always had her body camera footage on. And I say, God bless Suzanne Shealy for doing that. Because she's got all my evidence and they've handed it over to me. Anyway, so my question is, so what's going to happen to my aggravated stalking charge and my violation of a restraining order? And the aggravated stalking, of course, they reduced it to second-degree harassment. They couldn't have just made the restraining order second-degree harassment. They had to put the second-degrry.
Yeah, we're passing interstate now. If you want to have that warrant in a second. Why the charge had to be lesser included to aggravated stalking, second-degree harassment, I don't know. They could have just put it with the restraining order violation, which was a 30-day charge. But so they took a 10-year felony and reduced it to a 30-day charge time served. All right? Why? After 318 days in custody with no bond? You think that's a good deal? And they would to do a year instead of 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't do any of that shit. It was all false charges. And why was I denied bond for a nonviolent offense? Why?
Stalking's not a nonviolent.
It is a nonviolent offense. I've written down every violent offense that exists. According to the House of Assembly, I had nothing to do in jail. I wrote down every single violent charge that there is. And aggravated stalking is not. It can also incur other charges, because typically stalking is a serious charge. Somebody actually has to have something actually happen, like a larceny, an assault of some kind, a kidnapping, etc. Nothing ever happened with me. I never did anything. I walked my dog on my own street. We shared a mailbox on the road. Anyway, the question is, so when that order gets vacated, what happens to all my charges? What happens to them?
I don't know, I'm a police officer.
Yeah, nobody knows the question, and nobody wants to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Well, it's not that I don't want to tell you. If I knew,
Well, you can't tell me. Nobody will tell me.
That's like attorney stuff. I'm not.
Nobody's ever going to talk about it because they don't want to even think about it. But I've already got them to that point. They have no choice.
I would think that if it was vacated, that they would expunge that from you. Expunge it from your records, right?
Well, if you vacate the initial order, how can I violate it? Yes, obviously, that is the logical question. But you know that law is not always straightforward. And attorneys have a lot of dirty tricks. And attorneys include solicitors and people like that. And there's also corrupt judges, believe it or not. I know that's a jaw dropper, but it's true. Yeah, me and Sarah Filler, I applied for a restraining order against her because she refused to stop coming on my property. And she had told me, if you evict me after the COVID restriction was over and she hadn't paid rent in 5 years, if you evict me, I will ruin your life. Direct quote from Sarah Filler. I will ruin your life.
But you can't prove she said that either. Right?
Whatever, man. I got a lot of texts from Sarah Filler, a whole fucking bunch.
Just using your
She
theory,
threatened me.
using your theory as like you can't prove she said that.
Okay, I'm letting you know though. She said to me straight up, if you evict me,
So if-
I will ruin your life.
So if someone tells law enforcement something, and law enforcement acts on the information that they were given,
It's called a false report.
but how would the officer be responsible?
It's a false report.
How would the
Oh,
officer-
only if the officer consciously makes a decision to violate the person's constitutional rights. That's when an officer loses their immunity. If you're just doing your job, you're fine.
Yeah.
But when you make an actual decision to make perjurious statements on an affiant statement under oath in order to obtain a warrant, guess what just happened to your immunity? It's gone.
Dusty Lane, 8097 Dusty Lane, for disturbance with a gun, pursuit 1904.
That's fine. Sarah Filler tried to manipulate me into doing things to people too. She did. But I made the decision that since I actually didn't have any direct knowledge of these incidents that she claimed that happened, that somebody did to her, horrible things that she made up, even about what her mother did to her as a child, lots of things like that. She basically encouraged me to get to seek retribution against certain of her assailants, would you say, or victimizers, or whatever it was. But that's not the kind of person I am. And I'm also smart enough to know that if I didn't have firsthand knowledge of something or had witnessed something personally, it's not my job to have a vendetta or try to make up, any kind of like restitution or any kind of revenge or vengeance against somebody for actions that I'm not even sure that I even know ever took place, regardless of how horrible they may have sounded when they were
How many
described to me.
lawsuits do you think you brought against people?
Me?
Yeah.
Now?
Like,
Since when?
since whenever? How many lawsuits do you think you filed?
One time I filed a lawsuit against this guy because he took my boat
Well, no,
and he fucked it all up. And then
story's not relevant. I'm just saying, like, how many lawsuits?
until Sarah Filler decided to ruin my life and started suing me for shit, I hadn't filed any.
Like today.
That was 2022.
How many do you think?
It was 2022 before I ever filed one single lawsuit against anybody, and
how
they were
many
all
has it
against
been?
Sarah Filler.
How many has
It
it
doesn't
been?
matter how many there are.
Well, you
What
just
difference
said-
does it make?
Well, you said you're not vindictive.
I'm not that. I've never filed a lawsuit to punish somebody.
Oh.
I filed a lawsuit because they did something wrong, and I'm seeking redress, and I would like my damages compensated. That's why I file lawsuits. That's the reason to file lawsuits. I've never committed abusive process. I have never committed malicious prosecution. I have never filed a false report. Not once. I have never used a lawsuit. I don't have enough money to do that shit. That's Donald Trump shit. You sue people to fucking punish them, even though it's a frivolous, baseless lawsuit. That's Donald Trump shit, not me. I don't have any money. So, I mean, it's clear that you've been told things about me. Yeah, we sold the property to this lady, and she breached the contract and tried to evict me off of a prepaid lease. She got there on a Friday at 6 p.m. Monday morning, filed an eviction against me. I had a 2-year prepaid lease. She's only been there 3 days, and she tried to evict me? And you think I shouldn't sue her for breach of contract? That was my first lawsuit. I mean, well, besides all the civil lawsuits, They're all civil. The one against Sarah was, she came and stole my animals. She stole my dog. I haven't seen my dog in 2 years. She stole another dog that Judge Freeman ordered her to return to me. I was down there, I saw a sheep she stole.
I'm out of jail.
She stole all my goats. She conspired with the Sheriff Department, with the neighbor, with this lady in Greenwood County named Mary Moss, who she'd conspired with before. And, you know, they all conspired and stole all my property. They stole all my property. My goats. All those goats down there. And you're like, oh, how can you tell one goat from another, right?
Control, this is Aiken 5-3. I'm at the gate with a fresh arrest, white male.
10-4.
The second patrol car is also coming in with me.
10-4.
Stalking. Man, what a bunch of bullshit. It's so obvious that's why you all chose that charge. Because of the other thing that I have. Really, really, really fucked up behavior. Extremely fucked up. Very fucked up. You're being manipulated by her too. That sheep there with the horns, she stole that from my caretaker while I was in jail. I didn't even know that goat was there, that sheep was there. I saw it there and my jaw about dropped open. I went to court in Greenwood and I have the transcript. And the judge is like, the lady who took all my goats, she said, well, his ex-girlfriend has all those goats, Your Honor. I can't give them back to, she came and took them all. Oh, he said, well, I'm going to dismiss this without prejudice. You might need to do some detective work and try to find your property, but you're free to bring a claim and delivery against her in Aiken County.
Why in Aiken County?
Because that's where she took all my animals. That's where she's got my animals. Regardless, I claim maybe the larceny took place in Saluda or Greenwood, it's hard to say, but regardless, she resides in Aiken County with my animals. And that's why I'm able to file a claim and delivery there.
Have you filed one?
No, but I'm getting my evidence together. I have my transcript is being prepared right now from that court case. And I just got photos. I just stopped down there like once, like a week ago, before I saw you. And I took pictures from the road. I never saw any person there. I took pictures of my goats. And like I said, although you denied it on the video I made, I called them like this. Woolly, 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 woolly. And they were all laying down up there, and they all got up and came to the fence, and I took pictures of all of them. And
I was there?
No, the week before. I told you I was here one time.
You did it when I was there.
One time before.
They just looked at
But they were already at the fence. They were standing up already. When I called them, they were all laying down in the back. And I stood on the road and called them, and they came out to the fence. And I took pictures of them, and they're my goats. I've got pictures of them before she stole them. In a conspiracy with the Saluda County Sheriff Department, which apparently you're in now too.
I'm part of the conspiracy?
Yes, absolutely. You're totally working with Sarah Filler. I can't wait to read your affiant statement, sir. I can't wait to read it. You have absolutely no evidence of anything that was said in there because nothing was done. It was all bullshit, and she sucked you in, man. She got you to perjure yourself. That's also a crime. It's called subornation. And also filing.
I perjured myself?
Yes, when you filed the affiant statement, you admitted that you're the arresting officer,
hold on.
And you got the warrant issued too.
Hold on, let's
Whatever, man. Let's talk about it in court.
If I perjured, if somebody told me something and that's what I used, how would that be perjury on my part?
Okay, whatever, man. That's fine.
How would
It
that
was
be
a
perjury?
conspiracy. We'll
Educate
see.
me.
We'll be splitting hairs, I guess. Well, then that'll be a false report, and you'll be charging her. Guess you know what the penalty is for false reports?
What is it?
Whatever you charge somebody with, whatever. So stalking's a 5-year felony. Whatever. If you make a false report about stalking, guess what you get charged with? A 5-year felony if you're found guilty. That's the problem with false reports. So you'll be bringing it against Sarah Filler then.
They have a wanted subject that's possibly at this address with states only. Just for them to make contact with the subject.
How you doing, sir? How you doing, sir?
Can you read the warrant to me?
Absolutely. Mr. Hugh Price, you're being charged for stalking a person with prior conviction, harassment, and stalking. Mr.
Oh.
Parks, that on September the 14th, 2025, one Hugh Price did knowingly...
What date again?
That on September the 14th, 2025, one Hugh Price did knowingly and intentionally over a period of time sustain a pattern of conduct into the private life of the victim, Sarah Tiller, with no legitimate purpose, which has caused her to suffer mental and emotional distress and fear of death, assault and bodily injury to her and her mother.
Oh, I see.
Hughes.
I see.
This after being prior conviction of stalking within 10 years
Oh.
and taking place in
I don't have a
Aiken
conviction of stalking. Got
County,
news
South
for you.
Carolina, being in violation of South Carolina Code of Laws as amended. Okay?
Don't have a conviction for stalking.
That's just what you're being charged with.
Yeah, but you got false charges.
From the white that should be leaving, they don't know what's going
Get him. Get him, man. Bite his face. Get him.
You want to sit in the car, or do you want to get out of the car and sit on the bench over there?
I'll get out, thanks. I don't have previous convictions of stalking.